Hello, afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you all? Good? Okay. So let us quickly revise. ये क्या था? अरे रुको यार, रेड तो बना ले कम से कम. So this was apple. And from this apple, what went outside? Sensations. है ना? Sense experience. Now sense experience is going where? In the mind of this person. And when this goes, and there is also this internal sense, hai na? So these are sensations, and this is reflection. Combination of these two, when it goes into the minds, leads to simple ideas. So these are simple ideas, and simple ideas are of how many kinds? 4 kinds. One which is only from one sense organ, more than one sense organs, then only reflection, only the internal sense organ that is creating, then reflection plus sensation, any of that. So these are 4 types of simple ideas. Now these simple ideas are done what? By perception, retention, separation, comparison, composition, abstraction, and naming. So after doing all these permutations and combinations, these simple ideas that are there are made into complex ideas. So our mind can make any types of complex ideas. According to Locke, whatever knowledge we get only from these simple ideas. ये क्या है? Building blocks, the ईंट पत्थर of knowledge. So just as you can make any building out of ईंट पत्थर, है ना, from bricks and the mortar, similarly you can make any type of complex ideas only from simple ideas. This means that before the simple ideas, what is the status of mind? Tabula rasa. Before any knowledge, before any sensations, sensation means sensation and reflection, the mind is purely tabula rasa or plain sheet of paper. And after you receive sensation, there is some writing on the mind. So all the knowledge is made up of simple ideas. Now these complex ideas are of 3 types. There is this complex idea of modes. Then there is this complex idea of substance, and there is this complex idea of relation. 3 types of complex ideas. Complex ideas of modes means just the repetition of simple ideas in different manner. Now complex ideas of modes is of 2 types, simple and mixed. Simple मतलब एक ही simple idea कई बार repeat होके जो एक broad बनता है, उसको क्या कह देते हैं? Simple mode. Simple mode, like whiteness. What is whiteness? What is whiteness? It is the broader form of white. What is it exactly? 12 dozen banana. What is dozen? Banana को ही 12 बार कर दिया, dozen of banana. So anything which repeats the simple idea, the same idea is repeated many times, becomes the simple mode or simple modification. Mixed mode means something which includes more than one idea, like fruit basket, concept of beauty, concept of justice, isn't it? Mixing of too many simple ideas and we create an abstract idea of justice. Too many ideas, beauty. If I say, is beauty color? Is it only color? No. Is it only proportion? No. Is it only this? Is it only that? No. It has mix of many simple ideas. So that becomes mixed mode. Very simple. इसमें तो कुछ है नहीं modes वाले. Now he has accepted three substances. One is matter, second is soul, and third is God. अब ये कैसे prove करेगा ये? So how does he prove matter? Now we are getting all of these sensations from outside. Now these qualities of salt, sweet, color, motion, all of these, can they hang in air? कुछ तो होगा ना जहां पर ये होंगी, है ना? They cannot hang in air according to law. Therefore, there must be something which we cannot know directly. We can know this thing only by knowing the qualities. So, example, this table, you can know this table only by its qualities. So, definitely what you know is only qualities, but these qualities must be inherent in something. There must be something which is holding these qualities. वो क्या है? So Locke says, I don't know what it is, but there is something which he calls as I don't know what. I don't know what मतलब मुझे पता नहीं क्या है, लेकिन है ना? So this is what now he supposes. He says this matter is the supposed support of qualities. What is matter then? Supposed. Because we cannot know it directly. We can know only the qualities. We don't know the matter in itself. From these qualities, we are inferring that there must be a matter. And now this matter, what he calls it as supposed support of qualities. That we will have to suppose there is something which is holding all these qualities together. So there is something. What is this something according to Locke? Matter. So what is it? Supposed. Support of qualities. Matter prove हो गया? Matter prove हो गया. अब coming back to soul. Now he says that soul is an intuitive knowledge. Intuitive knowledge means direct knowledge. Can you deny yourself? Nobody can deny himself or herself. This is the very basic knowledge, very direct intuition of knowledge. Soul is directly known. उसमें mediation की जरूरत नहीं. Do we require anything else to know soul? Like for matter, we need qualities. For matter, we need qualities. Can you know matter without qualities? नहीं पता चलेगा, है ना? We need qualities to be knowing matter. But for soul, do we need anything? It's directly known. According to Locke, soul is directly known. So how do we know soul? Intuitively. Apart from that, he gives another proof. He says that just like matter is a supposed support of external qualities, similarly, there are reflections. भैया ये external sensations कहीं से तो आ रहे हैं, वो कहीं से क्या है? Matter. Similarly, there are these reflections. These reflections must also be coming from somewhere. There must be this feeling of anger coming from somewhere. This feeling of love coming from somewhere. So who is holding these internal reflections? So he supposes then soul to be the supposed support of internal qualities or internal reflections. Another way he has proved soul. What is it? Supposed support of reflections. Soul भी prove हो गया. अब आया God. ऐसा लग रहा है ना ये एम्पेरिसिस्ट होते हुए कहाँ जा रहा है? कैन यू फील द discomfort with his theory? Yes, that is why we will criticize him. He is not absolutely right with his own empiricism. He is not honest to his own empiricism. He has started supposing things. Though everything he is trying to base it on experience, but he has started supposing things. Definitely there are things that we will have to criticize Locke for. So then he says, this is this concept of God. God कैसे पता चलता है हमें? उसने कहा, so Locke says, all the qualities like existence, duration, love, power, wisdom, all of these are finite in us. Our existence is finite. Do we exist always? No. Our power is finite. Our consciousness is finite. So, if we are finite, there must be something which is infinite. Which is finite hai, if we take it to infinity, if we take all these qualities to infinity, where do we reach? We reach an infinite power, and that must be God के अलावा और कौन हो सकता है जो infinite हो, है ना? So he says, when we take all the qualities to infinite, we reach God. दूसरा क्या बोला इसने? Our soul, matter, they must have been caused by something. Soul, matter, we receive this sensation. So all these sensation must have been produced by something. Something must be a cause of it. So according to the nature, every effect has a cause. So what is our cause? Parents. Cause of parents. So therefore there cannot be the ultimate cause. So there must be some ultimate cause of this world. ये जो पूरी दुनिया है, all of this world, there must be a ultimate cause of complete world. Who can it be? God. So God is the cause of this world. This world means both matter and soul. God भी prove हो गया. हाँ, ये भी डेकार्ट नहीं कहा था. तो डेकार्ट से इन्फ्लुएंस था लॉक, रिजेक्ट किया. So Locke rejected or criticized Descartes, but he was definitely influenced by Descartes. And now he has proved matter, soul, and God. Can you understand his theory of substance? So how many substance he has accepted? 3. Matter, soul, and God. 3 substances he has accepted, like Descartes. But he has not classified them into actually relative or ultimate, but he has said also, God is the cause of soul and matter. कर तो उसने वही दिया जो डेकार्ट ने किया था, है ना? He reached up to the Descartes only. He started good criticizing, है ना? So he is like a bahu who says, कि, you know, bahus should be treated with friendly manner. And then when she becomes Saas, she starts doing the same thing, isn't it? As parents में भी आता है ना. So right now you people will be thinking parents should be really friendly with us. And you start criticizing the parenting methods of your, your parents. And then when you will become parents, you will do the same thing. So this is something what Locke did. He started out big by criticizing Descartes, but ended at the altar of Descartes only. So this is the theory of substance. Then there is another thing he is saying, but there is also a complex idea of relations. So any two ideas when compared, we also have the complex idea of relation between these two ideas. कोई भी दो के बीच में एक relation हमारे दिमाग में set हो जाता है. Like 2 angles of a parallelogram. So now there is this two concepts, angles and parallelogram, two ideas, but we have compared both and created a relation between them. All of these relational ideas of maths, geometry are part of modes of relation. So this relation that we create, that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Isn't it a relational knowledge that we are getting? That 2, then a sign, then 2 means 4. And equal to means both are. It's a relation that we have created. It's an abstract relation that our mind has created. असलियत में 2 plus 2 कुछ है क्या? It's a relation that our mind has created between two ideas. So there are number of ideas, simple and complex, and our mind can create number of relations between these two ideas. One of the very important relational idea that our mind creates is causality. That every effect has a cause. हम कुछ देखते हैं, हम उसका क्या ढूंढने लगते हैं? Cause. If we see the cause, we see the effect. So this is the relation that our mind has created between two things. So the moment we see curd, we know that it must have been caused by the milk. A relation between idea of milk and idea of curd. So this relation that we get to know is through complex idea of relations. थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है क्या कह रहे हैं लोग? नहीं नहीं, मतलब थोड़ा सा अलग है ना? He is still giving primacy to, हाँ हाँ, so he's trying to be honest to empiricism, but wherever he is getting stuck, he is falling to the ditch of rationalism. He has identified a very important point that we can know only qualities. We cannot know the matter in itself. Can we know matter in itself? हमें नहीं पता है क्या है, हमें क्या पता है? इसकी qualities. We can know anything by its quality. If I take out any quality, supposedly, so there is this register. Take the color out of it. Take the solidity out of it. Extension out of it. Texture out of it. Dimensions out of it. Anything, figure out of it. What is left? We don't know. We don't know because we can know only qualities. We can sense only things. How do we know? What is the limit of our knowledge? Qualities. Can we go beyond our sense experience or sensations? Can you know anything which your eyes cannot? So, you know now we are very limited in our existence. What is the visual range of our eyes or visual range? हाँ, very good. बाकी क्या कर रहे हो? आलू छील रहे हो? क्यों नहीं पता? Very basic thing. 400 to 700 nanometer is the visual range. If something is 200 nanometer, देख पाएंगे क्या हम? वो है यहाँ पे, पर हम we cannot see. We cannot know if such thing is present or not. So there are definitely microwaves, but do you see them? Not able to see. So this means we are very limited based on our experience. We can know this world only through a limited range of experience. Something like this, imagine there is this grand world, but you have been given specs from where you can see only few things. सिर्फ ऐसे समझो बहुत सारे कलर्स हैं, लेकिन सिर्फ आप एक कलर देख सकते हो. So you will be able to see all the colors? No, you will be able to see only one color. And when you see one color, you say, The world is made up of only this color. But actually, is it the problem of the world or is it the problem of your eye apparatus? है ना? It's because you can see limited. That is why you see the world as limited. But is the world limited? So he also sets the limit of our knowledge. He sets a limit of our knowledge is restricted or limited to qualities. We can know this world only through its quality. We cannot go beyond qualities. We cannot know the matter, what is it in actuality. But he still accepts, even though he's not experiencing the matter itself, but he's accepting it as supposed support of qualities. Is he sensing the soul? He's saying, I'm intuitively knowing it. It is a intuition that I have a soul. Because nobody can deny itself. खुद deny करने का मतलब क्या है? कुछ है ना? कौन deny कर रहा है? तो soul तो आप deny कर ही नहीं सकते. You cannot deny the soul. So he has proved soul also. And God, firstly, as a cause of this world. And secondly, if you understand finite, then you must also understand infinite. And what is infinite? God. So in essence, he has explained the whole world according to his theory of ideas. समझ में आ गया? ये चार्ट बना लिया? Very important, है ना? If in exam you get any question, try to represent it, because in words it is very difficult sometimes to explain it. Difficult in the sense बहुत सारे words लगेंगे, लेकिन examiner को पहले ही समझ में आ जाए कि बच्चे को आता है. लिखें? ये कह रहे थे कि हम जानते हैं भगवान, बट ये कह रहा है कि मैं मानता हूँ भगवान, जानते नहीं है बस मानते हैं. हम बस जानते हैं. No, he is actually, so there is, अभी हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. So he has given his theory of knowledge. There he has accepted 3 kinds of knowledge. चलो पढ़ ही लेते हैं, फिर लिख लेते हैं, है ना? So he has accepted in his theory of knowledge, which is also known as epistemology. There are 3 kinds of knowledge. First is sensitive. Sensitive knowledge कौन सी हुई? That we are experiencing. So things that we experience. Is it always true? We can go wrong with our whatever we know through our senses. It can go wrong. Simple ideas की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ मैं, है ना? Simple ideas are always right, but the ideas we make from them may be wrong. इसको समझने के लिए इसको आज समझ लो, कभी गलत नहीं करना. Same thing will come in Indian philosophy also. One of the philosopher will say, there are 2 people, है ना? One person also saw something shining. There is another person who also saw something shining. This person has never seen a gold. He saw something yellow and shiny. According to him, what is it? Something yellow and shining. Just yellow and shining. This knowledge cannot go wrong. It is always true. Something yellow and shining. But this person has known gold. इसको gold की knowledge है. So the moment he sees something yellow and shining, he says it is gold. तो इसने क्या बोला? कि gold है. But ये gold नहीं था. It was just a, क्या होता है और yellow और shining? Copper. तो वो gold गलत हो गया ना? Knowledge गलत हो गई gold की. क्यों गलत हो गई? Because he has interpreted. So this means that simple ideas, can they be ever wrong or can they be ever false? Simple ideas are true. अब देखो जैसे समझो, ये क्या है? ये white, ये क्या है कलर? White. Color is white. कलर को छोड़ो, कलर से तुम लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे क्योंकि अभी हम प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी क्वालिटीज करेंगे ना। हाँ अच्छा, so this board is solid or gas? Solid. So this notion of solidity, can it go wrong? You perceived something solid, can it go wrong? No. या फिर और किसी तरीके से आप समझने की कोशिश करो। अच्छा, so you sensed something hot, ठीक है? You sensed something hot, can it go wrong? You sensed it, but problem is now you interpret कि ये जो गरम मैंने महसूस किया ये क्या है? So that interpretation can go wrong, but this simple sensation cannot go wrong. जो महसूस किया वो तो किया ना, है ना? Example, you were going in a forest and there was something slimy on your feet. So the feeling of slimy is not false. You felt something slimy, but it is your mind operations that created the conception of snake. But later you found out it was only rope. So that complex idea is wrong that your mind created. But that feeling of slimy is always true. समझ में आ गई? So simple ideas cannot be wrong. Similarly, can reflections be wrong? गुस्सा तो आ रहा है ना? There is this anger, there is this sadness which you are perceiving. है नहीं, वो कह रहे मुझे पता है ना मैं दुखी हूं, मतलब I am feeling it right now, है ना? So this feeling cannot be the wrong thing. Our interpretation of that can be wrong. ठीक है? Okay. So there are three kinds of knowledge. First is sensitive experience. So Locke accepts this can be wrong. Therefore, least important or least certain, least valid, least necessary knowledge. Then is demonstrative. Demonstrative knowledge is that knowledge for which we will have to use a medium. Medium like use of logic or use of deductions, like concept of God. God के लिए हमें deductions करनी पड़ी ना? There is this world made up of finite things. Therefore, there must be a infinite. And that infinite is who? God. Deduction. Use of logic to demonstrate something. So maths, God, कहाँ पर आ जाएंगे? Knowledge of maths कहाँ पर आ जाएगी? Demonstrative knowledge. And last is intuitive knowledge. Direct knowledge. Direct, with no mediator required. Like the knowledge of this soul, where no mediator is required. So three kinds of knowledge he said. And now if he arranges it in the importance or validity, तो कैसे arrange करेगा? Least certain or least valid is sensitive. A little more valid is demonstrative, and highly valid is intuitive. Lekin should an empiricist do like this? Should an empiricist keep sensitive knowledge at the least valid situation and intuitive knowledge as the first? Inconsistency. है ना? Can reflect. हाँ ma'am, but ma'am, sometimes we feel cold, but it is not to be cold. Then here sense-based knowledge went wrong. No. Here we are saying that you felt cold. That thing cannot be denied. Whether it was cold or not, that is difference between primary and secondary qualities, जो भी हम करेंगे. है ना, वो बर्कले के टाइम पे हमें समझ में आएगा. बट अकॉर्डिंग टू लॉक, सेंस सिंपल आइडियाज कैन नॉट बी wrong. According to Locke, simple ideas cannot be wrong. It is only the complex ideas which may be wrong or right, true or false. Correspondence theory अभी हम करेंगे validity वाला. Ma'am, aren't all philosophers trying to make theory, including empiricists, and hence failing to explain God, who is experiential in nature? God is not experiential in nature. Can you experience God? सारी प्रॉब्लम ही तो यही है. अगर गॉड एक्सपीरियंस ही हो जाए, if you can experience, so whosoever wants to deny this tea cannot deny it because experiencing it. Not you people, but I am. So but yes, so anything which you experience, it's very difficult to deny. The problem with the concept of soul and God is we are not able to experience it. God can only be felt, not experienced. तो क्या करेंगे हम? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. उसने कहा कि मैं बहुत डेमोक्रेटिक हूँ, एम्पेरिसिस्ट हूँ, फिर पहुंच गया वहीं पर जहां से क्रिटिसाइज करना शुरू हुआ था. So demonstrative knowledge is simply, so there is this demonstrative knowledge which must use a medium which we directly cannot know, like the concept of God or concepts of maths. We must use a mediator of what? Logic and deduction. Again, it's a function of reason. Reason आ गया यहाँ पे, एकदम rationalistic tendencies आ गई, isn't it? So using logic and this deduction is what? Reason, rationalistic tendencies. But can you know maths without reason? Maths is reason based. Maths is a rationalistic discipline. So when I say to, the next question you will ask, to what? है ना? क्या है to? 2 apple, 2 banana, 2 books, 2 बंदे, क्या? है ना? So 2 in itself is nothing. But when I say 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, do you understand? Why do you understand? Because of reason. You can still hold an abstract idea of 2, even when you don't know what 2 I am talking about. Whether I am saying 2 plus 2 banana is equal to 4 banana. It can be apple, it can be people, it can be books. But you can still hold the idea of 2 in your mind, an abstract idea. And the moment you say 2, you must use a reason. You must use your logic. So this is again a rationalistic tendency. Don't worry. Criticize. Big time criticize. Locke will try to explain it through empiricism. But ultimately, when you make deductions, when you use logic, it is the use of reason. Kant के अंदर solve हो जाएगा, है ना? Wait for the Kant. नहीं, according to Locke नहीं है. According to Locke, knowledge of maths is not innate. It is, again, it's like he said that we get the knowledge of 2 plus 2 by experience. I saw 2 bottles, or rather I say 1 bottle plus 1 bottle is equal to 2 bottles. I experienced this one time and I got the knowledge, and then I am using this knowledge by in other fields also. So even if I don't see bottles, even if then I see 1 book plus 1 book, I can still say 2 books. What am I using here? Rationalism or reason or logic or deductions. But according to Locke, the first knowledge of 1 plus 1 bottle plus 1 bottle is equal to 2 bottle came from experience.
Because when you were small, teacher told us like
Two pen. Yes.
From that time.
And this formed what in your mind? A complex idea of relation. You started relating 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. This idea formed in your, yes. Now this complex idea formed into your mind. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now you can apply this complex idea to other things. So when you see 1 apple plus 1 apple, you directly say 2 apples. So used your logic. वहां से लिया, लॉजिक लगाया, इस एक्सपीरियंस पे लगाया, नॉलेज ले ली नहीं. So this is how our mind works. This is how knowledge is built. So you learn some relations and then you apply it on all things. This is why there is this complex knowledge of a complex idea of relation. You first saw there is cause and effect. कि ये हुआ, you switched the button, lights became on. So switching the button was cause and effect is light. You learned it here. The next time you enter somewhere and the lights become on, you look at switch किसने चलाया, है ना? Who pressed the switch? Why are you searching for a cause? Because you have already formed in your mind a complex idea of relation, that if there is an effect, there must be a cause. So according to Locke, how many types of complex ideas can we carry? 3 major classifications. First is idea of modes, in which what happens? In which what happens? Simple ideas can get repeated multiple times. Only one idea can get repeated. That is simple mode. If we combine 2-3 simple ideas, then it becomes a mix. But these modes, the knowledge of modes, the complex idea of modes, cannot leave a representative in our mind. It cannot leave. Example. So when I say apple, there is an apple imagination in your mind with a proper shape and things. But if I say dozen, does it lead to any picture? But dozen can be anything, no? Similarly, and eggs are also bought in dozen according to the the person who has contradicted you. Okay, fine. So it's like justice. Is there an image in your mind when I say justice? Yeah. That's symbolism, है ना? That's not the image. So these complex idea of modes doesn't leave a image in your mind. You understand what it is, but it doesn't leave a image. But the complex idea of substance can leave a image. It's a representative according to Locke. गलत है वो आदमी, मान लिया, लेकिन उसने यही कहा है ना? उसने कहा है ये, तो हमें तो भी पहले उसकी बात समझनी पड़ेगी ना, so that we can. Ultimate aim of a philosopher is to criticize. We are legally and ethically bound to criticize. No one can be a philosopher if he or she doesn't criticize. So criticism of others' philosophy is a very important component of being a philosopher. So before you criticize, you have to learn the philosophy. But that person has said, तभी तो criticize करोगे. Can you criticize a stranger? You will first have to know the person to criticize. And the best criticizers are people who know most closely, or people who know most intimately, isn't it? तभी तो अच्छे से बुराई कर सकते हो. So who do you fear going against you? Do you fear any unknown person going against you? Who do you fear going against you? Close one. Because you know they know the most about you. Yeah. Cousins. Because they know the family secrets. So yes, it is. So to be the good criticizer, we must know the philosopher first. What he said. And you have to also understand that he is the first person who is starting to think in this manner. Right now, we are in a very evolved state. And that evolution has happened because somebody at that time started giving importance to experience. And only after Locke became really thoughtful about the experiences that science became so like science को science बनाने में किसका role है? Philosophers. Because they also created this emphasis on experience. And so philosophers and scientists are not very different. Just the orientation is different. If you talk about things as a whole, the philosopher. When you talk about things as a particular, you are a scientist. So when you are saying, what is this world made up of? Then you are a philosopher. When you are saying, what is this table made up of? Scientist. When you are saying, what is the cause of atom? Philosopher. When you are saying, atom has neutron, electron, and proton? Scientist. Not very different. Both of them are talking about the same thing, but in a different orientation. So philosophy helps science by giving ideas that this could be a possibility. This could be a possibility. And science gives evidences to the theories. So any theory which has still been unproved or which is still under experiment is a philosophy. Anything which is under experimentation is a philosophy. All scientists, whether it's Einstein, Newton, Schrödinger, anyone you take, their start is philosophy. And when they start experimenting on their philosophy, they reach a scientific discovery. It's very closely related. Can you understand this? Fine. Niche karna. Ma'am, what is the difference between ma'am, we receive sensitive knowledge through our sense organs. So is in this context, sense organs becomes the medium to our knowledge. So ultimately, sensitive knowledge is also under demonstrative knowledge. Yes, there also it needs a medium, definitely. But he has created this classification: sensitive, demonstrative, and intuitive. Ma'am, what is the difference between simple rational ideas and simple modes? So simple rational to humne bola hi nahi. Simple reflections. So simple reflections are those things which have no connection to the outside world, but are our internal feelings. So nothing has happened outside, but you are still feeling lonely. This reflection is this is a reflection, lonely. So you are sitting and you are suddenly angry. This reflection is, anger is from your inside. Reflection, right? When you combine reflection with maybe something else, and then it leads to the concept of repugnancy. Repugnancy क्या होती है? कि किसी चीज को देख के ना you feel कि इसको फेंक दो, तोड़ दो. तो वो जो concept है तोड़ दो, नफरत वाला, वो mixed mode. Like the concept of maybe beauty, है ना? So there are some sensations and you start appreciating that sensation through your reflection, liking, disliking, love. And when this complex thing is done with all this permutation combination, and then it creates a complex idea of beauty. This complex idea of beauty is different for different cultures. Why is it different? This sorting is very different. So people in India want to be more fair and fair, है ना? According to the sales of Fair and Lovely. So people want to be fair, and people in US want to be tanned by the sales of tanning sprays. Have you seen people? हम लोग यहाँ पे सनस्क्रीन लगा रहे हैं, वो वहां पे धूप में बैठ रहे हैं. है ना, दे आर सिटिंग इन के सन बेदिंग कर रही है, क्या क्या हमारे यहाँ तो ऐसे ही धूप में बैठे रहते हैं लोग, है ना, सन बेदिंग, है ना, दे ऑल्सो स्प्रे सम थिंग्स ऑन देयर bodies to develop that brownish tan, you know na. So now their concept of beauty is different. And why is it different? Because their cultural formation of this complex idea is different, but they also have a complex idea of beauty. Everybody has a complex idea of beauty. Can you just say there is one thing that is beautiful? No, this beauty can be associated with any number of things, but whatever you see, you have this idea, this complex mode in your mind, mixed mode, that there is this complex idea of beauty, which is a combination of many simple ideas, according to Locke. Locke has made immense contribution to psychology. Immense contribution. After his theory, psychology became a very interesting discipline, because before him, nobody was actually thinking how do we perceive things, how the knowledge is formed. People were accepting कि हाँ knowledge तो बनी जाती है. Yeah. Now, what he gave this psychological atomism. There is this complex of or concept of psychological atomism. What is psychological atomism? Now, what are the simple ideas? Atoms of psychological knowledge, isn't it? He has actually broken the knowledge into numerous indivisible parts. So what is the simple idea of red? Can you divide it any further? Simple idea of texture, smooth texture. It cannot be divided any further, because it is a psychological atom that has created our knowledge, according to Locke. So he is also known as a psychological atomist. And after this, psychology became a new interesting area of research, where we started to discover how do we know things, why do we know things differently, how do we perceive an object, do we perceive it linearly? So he has said that we perceive things as linearly. So red, round, smooth, all of this comes at 1, 2, 3. But modern psychology says aggregate or simultaneously. We don't see red after smooth or smooth after red. We see them as together. तो गलत था ये, मतलब he was wrong, but he started it. He started discussing this, and this gave rise to this concept of psychology. ठीक है? Reflection is internal, but it's dependent on simple idea of sensation. Isn't it true? According to Locke, no. So according to Locke, there can be reflections in response to sensation, but there can be independent reflections also. That is why he has given this third simple idea. So reflection plus sensation kya hua? You saw something and there was this immediate liking, disliking. But reflection means even without anything. So simple things like reflection can do is thinking. Thinking is what? Do we need any external sensation for thinking? You can think even without external sensation. Willing, you want to do something, even without external sensation, this concept of willing is there. Doubting, even without any. So all of these concepts he is saying are reflections. Don't we, by criticizing philosophers, bringing them to our own level of understanding? Of course, yes. This is again a very philosophical thought, that criticizing a philosopher is kind of bringing them to our level of understanding. We are criticizing them because we are trying to understand them through our specs. Definitely. नीचे का ना? अच्छा, हो गया. लिखे? आप बताओ किसमें आएगा? सेंसिटिव. So all this sense experience comes under sense. Locke is not making it any difference. According to Locke, there are 6 sense organs. 5 external, 1 internal. 6 sense organs, 5 external and 1 internal. That internal sense organ is mind. So mind के पास 2 काम है. So mind has 2, but it's not important for your answer writing. But in simple sense, if you want to know a little deeper, so Locke has imagined that mind has 2 works. First is reflection and second is managing all the sensations and working as an operator. तो ये सब हो कहाँ रहा है? ये भी mind में हो रहा है. So here mind is working as an operator. There is this working or operations on simple ideas. And the same mind is also producing reflections. उसने बहुत ज्यादा एग्जांपल्स दिए नहीं है. सोल को ही उसने इंट्यूटिव नॉलेज माना है. Reflections will come under sensitive knowledge. जैसे white 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 leads to whiteness. Blue 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 blue. Banana 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 dozen. 12 banana means dozen. So anything which is only one idea, but it is repeating itself, that he has considered as simple mood. He to understand his theory. He is actually creating a theory that how do we understand it. That is why he will have to create a classification. If only one idea is repeating, it is simple mode. If 2-3 ideas combined are meeting, then mixed mode. Just a classification, way of classification. How do we know things? ठीक है? Psychological atomism is dividing your thoughts or analyzing your thoughts to the core. जहाँ पे एक thought क्या है? वो एक red, एक sensation red. So psychologically, जैसे what is this world made up of? Atoms. So what is atom? Atom is the smallest unit of the world. Similarly, psychology. So psychological knowledge. So what is the atom of it? Simple thought, a simple experience, or simple idea, which he calls as psychological atomism. ठीक है? गॉड भी आएगा. अभी हम लिखेंगे ना तो उसके अंदर वो सारे आर्गुमेंट्स आएंगे. So अभी आएगा. So qualities का क्या है? There are number of qualities in the world. When we take these qualities, argument है. कुछ क्या कहना चाहिए? Science नहीं है, है ना? It's just an argument he is creating for God. He is saying that there are number of qualities in the world. If you take these qualities to infinite, what will be that? A perfect infinite thing. That must be God. Rationalist बन गया वो वहां पर, है ना? तो इसीलिए he left his empiricist tendencies and entered into rationalist tendencies. लिखोगे क्लियर हो जाएगा. Deductive and logical. मतलब समझ नहीं आया क्या? हाँ. इंडक्टिव नॉलेज कैसे बनेगी? नहीं 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 नहीं. For particular to universal. हाँ. क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे ना कि भाई वो एम्पिरिसिस्ट होते हुए ऐसा कैसे कर सकता है। मैं भी यही कह रही हूँ, हम उसे क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे, ही इज रॉन्ग। हाँ, क्या नहीं कर सकते? Should an empiricist accept something which he or she is not experiencing? उसके बाद नहीं, उसके बाद the moment he saw the finite things, so he should have accepted only finite thing. At the moment he, after looking at finite things, started deducing, started reasoning that there is a finite. He saw only finite, so he should accept only finite. But the moment from finite he started deducing the finite, there is this concept of finite love, therefore there must be something which is known as infinite love. What is this? Reason. You are logically deducing, है ना? Therefore there must be a finite, infinite person. Who will be the cause of this world? Who will he be? God. So empiricist means only accepting what they are experiencing. They should not go beyond experience. Again, so this is reasoning. हाँ, वही तो बिल्कुल कॉम्प्लेक्स आइडिया अपने आप में रीजनिंग है. एंड दिस प्रॉब्लम विल गेट रिजॉल्व्ड इन कांट. I told you that there cannot be a knowledge without reason and there cannot be a knowledge without experience. You will have to use both. But problem with rationalist was that they were using only reason and they were neglecting the experience. And here with empiricists, what is the problem? They are using only the experience and trying to reject the reason. But can you reject the reason? You cannot, because knowledge is a combination of both experience plus reason. So that is why even the Locke, when he started with only experience, he has to use reason somewhere or the other. What is this? Perception, retention, sorting, compare. This is reason. Again, supposition is an act of reason. Intuitively, reason. God, qualities, infinite, reason. So you cannot make any knowledge without reason. You will have to use reason. But at the same time, these people wanted to, he rejected reason. But ultimately, if he had to go somewhere, he had to use reason. But he reason नहीं बोल पा रहा था, तो इसने कहा कि यार reason तो नहीं बोल सकते, क्या बोलेंगे? Powers. Inherent powers of our mind. So our mind has certain powers which are there inherently, innately. देखा ना हमने लिखा था starting में, there are some innate powers. So he says this is an innate power, but ultimately use to reason कर रहे हो ना? You are using logic. You are moving from your experience. Experience means जो देखा बस वही. You should not deduce it any further. But can knowledge be formed if you just look at things? You will have to use reason to sort them, logically arrange them, and do something with that to create a proper knowledge. Kant will resolve it. Of course, criticism, inconsistent. He has been inconsistent in many ways, many ways. In sensitive knowledge, if reflection is wrong, then reflection is part of simple ideas. In sensitive knowledge, so ऐसा समझो, एक होता है ट्रुथ और एक होता है एक्सपीरियंस. अब तुम लोगों को इस बात को मैं ऐसे समझाती हूँ. Your friend was, you were going somewhere and you saw your friend sitting with your enemy. है ना? So you saw them talking. Now, what did you experience? Yeah. So you saw, your experience was you saw your friend sitting with your enemy. This was your experience. Can you deny that? Is it true or false? True. It is true. It cannot be false because you saw them, right? But the backstory is that your friend was just sitting and having tea. And that enemy came and asked, और क्या चल रहा है आजकल? And the moment he or she was talking to that person, you saw them. So was it like your friend was sitting and chatting with the enemy? What was it? It was your interpretation that they were sitting and talking. ठीक है? तो आपने उन्हें देखा वो गलत नहीं है. Your interpretation can be wrong. ठीक है? Similarly, if you are feeling in reflection, if you are feeling anger, that will always be true. That cannot be wrong. Whether you are feeling it is right or wrong, that's a different story. That will be based on your interpretation. है ना? वैसे इस पे कभी क्वेश्चन नहीं आया. It's not an important part of your syllabus. ठीक है, पर बात समझ में आ गई? The sense data is true. The interpretation can be wrong. I saw something white. That is never wrong. But I interpreted it to be a ghost. That can be wrong. So if I say, I saw a ghost, false. If I just say, I saw something white. True, I saw something white. है ना? Ma'am, what happened to your finger? Yes, I got a cut. Cut in the morning, yes. If we start reasoning every single thing, it will lead to superpower. Of course, rationality will logically lead to God. ठीक है ना? लिखते हैं और क्लैरिटी इससे अपने आप आ जाती है. Where were we? Okay. Then write complex ideas. Complex ideas. नहीं ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. ये तुम्हारी चेयर बहुत छोटी है, यहाँ तक नहीं आ पाएगी. Okay. Fine. Complex ideas are nothing. Complex ideas are nothing. हो चुका? कहाँ तक लिख लिया हमने? We have written the 6 points we have written, है ना? अच्छा, कौन बताएगा मुझे लाइन से? Raise your hand. These 6 points of how to make a complex idea. बताओ. Yellow. याद करने में मुश्किल है क्या ये? एक एग्जाम्पल ले लो, पता है तो it is very simple. If you take one example and learn it, है ना? So how do you make a complex idea of anything? So supposedly you want to make a complex idea of a pen, है ना? First, what will you have to do? Perceive. What will you do next? Retain. You must retain the figure and the qualities in your mind. If you do not retain, उसके आगे कुछ हो ही नहीं पाएगा, है ना? You must retain. Then after retaining that image of pen, what do? Separate. separate it from other things. That how this pen is not a cup, how this pen is not a table. You must separate this idea from other ideas in your mind. है ना? But next, compare. Then you compare how is it different from other ideas in your mind. है ना? There must be some criteria on which you say कि इसे तो हाथ में पकड़ सकते हैं, it is small, है ना? Do you say the pen, बहुत बड़ी टावर को अगर पेन शेप में बना दिया तो उसे पेन कहने लगोगे? Right? So you also sort that idea, है ना? You compare it with other things. Then do you what? Composition. You compose a abstract idea out of it also. कि ये पेन है, qualities मिलाई, you aggregated all the qualities and made a image of that pen in your mind. That idea or the image of pen. Then do you what? Abstraction. That abstract image in your mind, and then you do what? Naming. You say this is. So this is this. The moment you name it, you have named a complex idea in your mind as pen. समझ में आया? अब तो नहीं भूलोगे? पक्का? Okay. Fine. Can you differentiate between simple and complex ideas? पहले तो लिख लो, वहाँ पे एक वो बना लो difference. एक साइड simple ideas, एक साइड complex ideas. लिख लिया? सब लिख लिया क्या तुम लोगों ने? दिखाओ यार, तुम लोग पहले मुझे दिखाओ कहाँ तक लिख लिया है हमने. Okay, abstraction and naming. According to Locke, there are three types of complex ideas. According to Locke, there are three types of complex ideas. Number one, complex ideas of modes. Complex ideas of modes. First point. Complex ideas of modes are made up of simple ideas which could not leave their representative in our minds. Which could not leave their representative in our mind. In our mind. Second point, complex idea of modes cannot infer. Complex idea of modes cannot infer any material object. Cannot infer any material object. As they lack the idea of existence. As they lack the idea of existence. Example maths. Lack exist नहीं करते, मतलब अब मैथ्स का 2 कहीं exist करता है क्या? So they lack the idea of existence. It can again be of two types. It can again, so idea of modes. Maths. Example maths. Idea of modes are again of two types. First, simple mode and second, complex mode. देखो मैथ्स के साथ साथ आप मॉरल आइडियाज भी मान सकते हो, है ना? एग्जाम्पल में आप मैथ्स लिख लो, साथ में मॉरल आइडियाज भी लिख लो. जैसे ऑनेस्टी, ऑनेस्टी से कोई पिक्चर बनती है कि दिमाग में कि ये ऑनेस्टी है? ये नहीं है। ऑनेस्टी पता है आपको, है ना, यू अंडरस्टैंड, बट व्हेन आई से ऑनेस्टी, बट दिस इज ऑनेस्टी, दिस इज, तो एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं है उसकी, देयर इज नो रियल एग्जिस्टेंस, बट यू अंडरस्टैंड द आइडिया that it is made up of many simple ideas coming together. Okay. It is again of two types, simple mode and complex mode. Mixed mode. एक ही बात है। इसी को कंपाउंड मोड्स भी कह सकते हैं, कॉम्प्लेक्स मोड्स भी कह सकते हैं और मिक्स्ड मोड भी कह सकते हैं, है ना? मिक्स्ड मोड, सिंपल मोड्स, सिंपल मोड्स, these are combinations of same simple idea. These are combinations of same simple idea without the mixture of any other ideas. Without the mixture of any other ideas. Second point, these ideas are formed by the repetition of one simple idea. These ideas are formed by the repetition of one simple ideas. Example, space, time, space, time, dozen, whiteness, space, time, dozen, whiteness. Space क्या है? The repetition of the dimension, the extension, you know, if you extend something, you say space. It's the what do you say, the repetition of the same concept, the same idea of space. Similarly, time, repetition of every second, time. Similarly, whiteness, repetition of the same idea of white, something like this. Okay, then second, next is complex mode or mixed mode. Mixed mode. Here, it is the compound. It is the compounded, या फिर compound of various simple ideas. It is the compound of various simple ideas. Various simple ideas. Example, beauty, murder. Beauty, murder. Murder मतलब murder is in itself a complex idea of many simple ideas. जितने भी टर्म्स है ना जिनके अंदर कोई हमें शक्ल नहीं बनती और वो एक सिंपल आइडिया नहीं है, तो वो क्या है? सब मिक्स्ड आइडियाज और कंपाउंड आइडियाज। हाँ, इसीलिए तो वो सिंपल है, तभी तो वो मोड है। टाइम के अंदर एक आइडिया रिपीट हो रहा है या बहुत सारे आइडियाज मिलके रिपीट हो रहे हैं? तो मोड्स तो दोनों मोड्स ही तो हैं। कैन यू अंडरस्टैंड? अच्छा, ये देखो, ये देखो, लिख लो तुम लोग। It is the तुम लोग बड़े बदमाश बच्चे थे। अच्छा, या फिर मतलब और इसको एक्सप्लेनेटरी लिखना है तो मिक्स्ड आइडियाज आर द कॉम्पोजिशन और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ मेनी डिफरेंट सिंपल आइडियाज। बात वही है, अब कैसे भी लिख लो, ऐसे घुमा के लिख लो, ऐसे घुमा के लिख लो, एक ही लाइन, एक ही कॉन्सेप्ट है, ठीक है? इट इज द आइडिया कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड बाय मेनी सिंपल आइडियाज। नेक्स्ट, idea of substance. Next, idea of substance. These are the simple ideas. These are the simple ideas which leave their representation in our mind. These are the simple ideas which leave their representation in our mind. And are the basis of inference and are the basis of inference of material objects. Inference of material objects. On the basis of complex idea of substance, we infer material objects. Second point, according to Locke, mind passively receives simple ideas. According to Locke, mind passively receives simple ideas, but actively combines them to form complex ideas. Example. We have the simple idea of redness, roundness, softness. We have the simple ideas of redness, comma, roundness, comma, softness, comma, sweetness, comma, hardness, etc. Full stop. These simple ideas are arranged in a certain order. These simple ideas are arranged in a certain order to form a complex idea of apple. Arranged in a certain order to form a complex idea of apple. But whatever we can know are only qualities. We cannot know the substance directly. Therefore, Locke says that substance is the supposed support of quality. Substance is the supposed support of quality. Through such reasoning, he explains the complex idea of substance, that is matter. On similar lines, he has accepted two other substances, that is soul and God. Locke has therefore accepted three substances: matter, soul, God. Has accepted three substances: matter, soul, and God. ब्रैकेट में लिखो like rationalist Descartes. Like rationalist Descartes. Comparison आ जाएगा ना? You can compare whenever you are talking about the theory of substance of Locke with the theory of substance of Descartes. Okay. Complex idea of matter. Complex idea of matter. फर्स्ट हेडिंग मतलब इसी का सब पार्ट है. सब्सटेंस तीन टाइप के होते हैं. अब हम मैटर के बारे में लिखेंगे. According to Locke, all our knowledge is made up of ideas. All our knowledge is made up of ideas, which is based on experience of qualities or sensation of qualities, which is based on sensations of quality. All our knowledge is made up of ideas, which are based on sensations of qualities. Full stop. We can only know qualities. We can only know qualities and can have no direct knowledge of, matter as such. Cannot have direct knowledge of matter as such. Full stop. Therefore, it is a compulsion of empiricism. Therefore, it is a compulsion of empiricism there is a compulsion of empiricism to accept material objects as they cannot deny sensations. But these qualities must be placed somewhere. These qualities must be placed somewhere. As qualities cannot hang in air. As qualities cannot hang in air. हवा में तो नहीं रह सकती, कहीं तो होगी ना. तो वो क्या उसने मान लिया? As the qualities cannot hang in air. Full stop. Therefore, Locke accepts matter as something which holds the quality. Something which holds the qualities. As supposed, inverted commas में लिखो. Inverted commas में supposed support of quality. Supposed support of quality. Full stop. Next paragraph. He recognizes that matter cannot be known directly. He recognizes that matter cannot be known directly. Therefore, he says that something is there. Therefore, he says that something is there, but inverted commas में लिखो again, but I don't know what. I don't know what. इन्वर्टेड कॉमास में अंडरलाइन कर दो, किस दो लाइनों को अंडरलाइन करेंगे, आई डोंट नो व्हाट और supposed support of qualities. If UPSC wants to make a paper difficult, they will say, Locke has said, I don't know what. Comment. तो किसके बारे में पूछ रहा है वो? Locke has said supposed support of qualities. Yeah, Locke has accepted matter as supposed support of qualities. How has Berkeley criticized it? तो criticism तो हम करेंगे ही, but what is supposed support of qualities? Okay. Note. Locke being an empiricist should have accepted only the qualities. But his acceptance of matter as supposed support of qualities is against the spirit of empiricism. Supposed support of qualities is against the spirit of empiricism. Second, note के अंदर ही second. As Locke says, I don't know what. As Locke says, I don't know what. This indicates towards his agnosticism. This indicates towards his agnosticism. Agnostic कौन होते हैं? Not sure people, है ना? So, do you believe in God? If you say yes, then you are a theist. If you say no, then you are a atheist. If you say, I'm not sure, I'm still undecided between, I need more evidence, then you are a agnostic. अब बताओ, how many of you are theist? Okay, how many of you are atheist? And how many of you are agnostic? Okay, very well. Fine. Second, soul. Just as metaphysically Locke had to accept matter, as supposed support of qualities, in physical realm, realm क्या होता है? REALM, a particular domain, a particular realm, full stop. He accepted matter as a shelter of physical qualities. Similarly, he has accepted soul as a shelter of mental qualities like will, desire, memory. Etc. Second point, Locke has also contended Locke has also contended that if there is knowledge, Locke has contended that if there is knowledge, then there must be a knower. Then there must be a knower. Then there must be a knower. Full stop. This knower cannot be a body. This knower cannot be an unconscious body. This knower cannot be an unconscious body. Therefore, conscious soul is the knower. Therefore, conscious soul is the knower. Thirdly, third point. According to Locke, no one can deny the soul. No one can deny the soul as it is known intuitively. As it is known intuitively. There is no full stop. There is no mediation required to know soul. There is no mediation required to know soul. And it can be directly known. It can be directly known and experienced. It can be directly known and experienced. Direct experience, directly known, intuitively known. सोल समझ में आ गया? आर्गुमेंट्स पे उसने क्या क्या दिए सोल के? बताओ. Who will tell me? Raise your hands. 3 arguments he has given to prove soul. Or his 3 arguments he has given to accept the soul as a substance. कौन बताएगा? अब तुम लोग ऐसे उस तरह से हाथ मत खड़े करना कि मैम हाथ खड़े वालों से तो पूछती ही नहीं है, तो चुपचाप से हाथ खड़ा कर लो, है ना? ओके पार. Sorry, qualities. Okay. If there is knowledge, there must be a knower. Knower. And third? No one can deny soul. Must be known through intuition. Very good. So you have to use the words very carefully, है ना? So Harshita, you have written matter is shelter of physical qualities. Sorry. Abhipsha, soul is support system of reflection, not supposed system. We have to say supposed support of mental qualities, है ना? So that term is a technical term, है ना? Technical term समझ लो उसको. Because when you write it in this manner, na, examiner knows that you have read some authentic texts. Else they will be like कि मतलब समझ आ गया है, लेकिन वो वाली terminologies जो Locke ने use करी है, अगर हमने वो मतलब we have to use those certain terminologies. So that is suppose support of qualities, right? Dependent on the God for its existence. Yes, that we will see once we see the God. Okay. Third God. Third is God. According to Locke, knowledge of God can be reached through. According to Locke, knowledge of God can be reached through demonstrative knowledge. Demonstrative knowledge. Full stop. This demonstrative knowledge is a deductive knowledge based on intuitive knowledge. Is a deductive knowledge based on intuitive knowledge. Example. Through intuitive knowledge, we know. Example. Through intuitive knowledge, we know there is a soul. And we also know that every effect has a cause. We also know that every effect has a cause. Bracket में क्या लिख लेंगे? Causality. Every effect has a cause. Then logically, one must ask question. What is the cause of material objects and soul? What is the cause of material objects and soul? Then demonstratively we reach God. Second point. Locke has also given this reasoning. That we get the simple ideas of existence. We get the simple ideas of existence, duration, pleasure, existence, duration, pleasure, happiness, etc. Full stop. When these ideas are so enlarged, that they yield the idea of infinite. That they yield. Y-I-E-L-D, yield. Yield को हम give भी लिख सकते हैं अगर सिंपल भाषा में लिखना होगा, है ना? Yield या फिर give. Yield थोड़ा भारी वर्ड हो गया, give थोड़ा आसान वर्ड हो गया, है ना? Yield the idea of infinite, and then putting them all together brings our idea of God. Bracket में लिख लो, complex idea of God. ठीक है? He has also said, एक लाइन और लिख लो चलो God में. He has also said that God is, inverted commas, that God is, and there is no doubt in the existence of God. God is, inverted commas में, and there is no doubt in the existence of God. He has not given this terminology, but yes, he has made it. है ना? He has not given the same terminology, but he has definitely subordinated matter and soul to God. But when we say three substances, he has given matter, soul, and God. है ना? So we will not put it like Descartes, ultimate and relative. We will put it like three substances of Locke: matter, soul, and God. Simple. मतलब don't confuse it there. है ना? ठीक है. Next. Arguments लिख लोगे अभी God वाले? चाहो तो पढ़ लो एक बार. हाँ. Infinite happiness. Who is the holder of infinite happiness? We can be happy, but in finite manner. So there is this happiness which must be infinitely expressed. Where? In God. है ना? Expression. है ना? It's the expression. तुम लोगों को जब criticism होगा ना, पढ़ाना नहीं पड़ेगा. पता है क्यों? So you can see the visible fault lines in his theory, है ना? And he is one person who himself knew that there are visible fault lines. That is why he also, said something and explained, and then he was like कि हम directly तो नहीं जान सकते matter को, तो क्या कर देते हैं? Suppose support of quality. He himself was very satisfied with whatever he was saying because he understood that there are certain fault lines, but yet he had to give a theory. He gave it. Yeah. He was a very intelligent person though. Okay. Next. कौन सा अब हमारा रह गया? Complex idea of relations. अपेक्षा, अभिप्सा, देखो. Okay. So I think your copies will be evaluated soon. The person who is responsible for that is not well for a few days. Monday, by Monday they will be giving your copies. है ना? Offline में सबको मिल गई? ठीक है. Okay. ये तुम्हारे साथ होता तो है ही ये सौतेला व्यवहार. I will try कि ऐसा ना हो, है ना? I will ask the person to check online copies first. तुम लोगों को वैसे भी बहुत कुछ मिल जाता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है ना? Offline people are still on the better side of it. Okay. Complex idea of relations. Locke has defined knowledge as the perception of the connections regarding agreement or disagreement. Or Locke has defined knowledge as perception of the connection regarding agreement and disagreement, or repugnancy. Repugnancy मतलब reject करना. REPUGNANCY. Repugnancy of any ideas. Full stop. According to Locke, there are 4 agreements and disagreements among ideas. According to Locke, there are 4 agreements and disagreements among ideas. Basically, मुश्किल इंग्लिश में लिखा है, क्या कहना चाह रहा है? There are 4 ways of relation between ideas. है ना? Number 1, ये लिख लो, अभी समझाती हूँ. Number 1. 4 types. Just write 4 types, subpoints, 4 subpoints. First, knowledge of identity and difference. Knowledge of identity and difference. If two ideas are totally similar, then they are supposed to be identical. If two ideas are totally similar, they are supposed to be identical. Example, cow is cow or black is black. Cow is cow or black is black. Full stop. On the other hand, if two ideas are totally different, then there is diversity. Totally different, then there is diversity. Example, circle is not a square. Example, circle is not a square. Black is not white. Black is not white. Second, knowledge of abstract knowledge of ideas या फिर abstract relation of ideas. Abstract relation of ideas. Abstract relation of ideas. This is observed in maths. This is observed in maths and logic. Maths and logic. Three plus 2 is equal to 5. Third is coexistence. Third is a relation of coexistence. Relation of coexistence. When knowledge is about two or more attributes, when knowledge is about two or more attributes being imposed simultaneously. Two or more attributes being imposed simultaneously in the same substance. Simultaneously in a same substance. Example, sugar is white and sweet. Sugar is white and sweet. Gold is like yellow. Gold is like yellow found in banana. अरे मतलब येलो कुछ और भी कर सकते हो यार. येलो और क्या होता है? Like a sun. Example. है ना? Third, fourth. Agreement and disagreement with reality. Agreement and disagreement with reality. Agreement or disagreement with reality. या फिर knowledge of real existence or knowledge of real existence. According to Locke, when our mind perceives an idea, when our mind perceives an idea which is really existing, then the idea of existence is created. Then the idea of existence is created. Example, idea of existence is created. Example, the idea of man, if comma या dash डाल के लिख लो, idea of man, comma, if man exists in real world, then it is in agreement with reality. Therefore, man has the idea of existence. On the other hand, the idea of flying dinosaur, नहीं dinosaur तो fly करता है सब. Idea of flying dog, the idea of flying dog is in disagreement with reality. Therefore, lacks the idea of existence. अब आखिरी में लिखो नोट, एक बार लिख लो, भी समझाती हूँ ये. Note, strangely, out of 4 agreements and disagreements, Locke has accepted the fourth one. To be the criteria of existence. And he says, God is the most authentic. And existent being. Authentic and existent being. This is of course an inconsistency. In the Locke's theory. Inconsistency in the Locke's theory. तो क्या हुआ है? हटाना है इसे. So if we see complex ideas, how many types of complex ideas are there? First, complex idea of modes. Then complex idea of substance and the complex idea of relations. In complex idea of modes, how many types are there? Simple and mixed. Simple matlab one simple idea is being repeated again and again, like space, time, dozen, or any such thing. In mixed, few ideas are mixed together. Example, the idea of beauty. But none of them can leave a representative in our mind. representative in our mind, that it doesn't leave an image in our mind. है ना? Space doesn't leave a image representative in our mind according to law. But then there is substance of the complex idea of substance. He says they are of 3 types. Number 1, matter. Can we know matter directly? Can we know matter directly? No. It can only be indirectly known through qualities. So it is an inference based on quality. So matter is only inferred based on qualities. What he calls as supposed support of qualities. या फिर I do not know what. So he gives it a name. I do not know what. या फिर supposed support of qualities. Then is soul. Now, soul, he says, is intuitively known. This is something which we cannot deny. But it can also be demonstratively known. Because just as matter is inferred by physical qualities, soul is inferred by mental qualities. Then comes God. He says that we know there is a causality. There must be a cause of matter and soul. Who is the cause? God. Further, all these qualities that we know, when taken to the highest or infinite level, we reach an infinite being, that is God. So he also accepts God as a substance. Then he says our mind also creates a complex idea of relations. These are of 4 major types. Number 1, बताओ. Knowledge of identity and difference. So we form a relation with things by identifying what is same and what is different. This is the relation we form in our mind. है ना? Black is black. आपने एक black देखा, उसके बाद कुछ और black देखा, you identify the both. That these both have the same color. You see one man, second man, you identify these all are men. So you don't, and when you see a dog, you say this is a man and this is a dog. So this identification of relation, so you can identify something as similar or different. So this identification, this relation that you create is a complex idea of relation in our mind. Second is abstract ideas that our mind creates, like maths, logic. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, a complex idea, abstraction that has been created in your mind. Similar to logic. So logic says 3 is greater than 2. But if I write 2 is greater than 3, something goes wrong. What goes wrong? It goes wrong against what? It goes wrong against the complex idea of abstraction that has been fit into our mind. That this is there in our mind. कि बड़ा तो ये तो sign बड़े का है ना. This goes wrong. समझ में आ रहा है? So our mind also has these complex ideas of abstract things like maths and logic. Then third is तुम लोग अच्छे confidence से नहीं बोलते. Relation of coexistence. Coexistence means 2 things are present in the same thing, or 2 qualities that are present in the same thing. Like sugar is both white and sweet. एक ही जगह मिल रही हैं दोनों qualities. So this relation that we build, है ना? We also build a relation like yellow is found both in gold and sun. So yellow के ऊपर बात हो रही है, but it is found here and here. So it is a kind of a relation that our mind creates, that 2 things coexist in one. Anything, है ना? Coexistence. 2 ideas एक जगह हैं. So a man is also a husband and a son and a father. फिर कोएग्जिस्टेंस, एक ही आदमी है जो सन भी है, फादर भी है और हस्बैंड भी है. So this coexistence of different ideas into one thing is known as coexistence. Fourth is reality. यहाँ से validity of knowledge आएगा. Reality, he says that our mind also creates the knowledge of existence, this relation of existence. There are numerous complex ideas that are created by our mind. Like, how many of you think that, how many of you can have an idea of flying dog? You can have the idea of flying dog, right? But how do you know it is not real? Because you have never experienced, you know. So this means that even though you have numerous complex ideas in your mind, you can still understand that this one is real and this one is not. So from here comes his correspondence theory. तो यहाँ की इस वाले पॉइंट से उसने कौन सी दी है? Correspondence theory of validity of knowledge. मैं लिखवाऊंगी आराम से, don't worry. So what is correspondence theory? He says that if I have the idea of water bottle with green cap, and if there is really a water bottle with green cap, which I can experience, this means it exists. But our mind can also create idea of a bottle with elixir made up of gold. But if I cannot experience it, then it means it is an idea created by my mind, corresponding to which there is nothing in reality. So this point or criteria of existence and non-existence is also a relation that we create in our mind. हमें पता चलता है, knowledge मिलती है existence and non-existence की by relating the things with our experience. Complex idea तो हजारों बना सकते हैं हम, लेकिन कौन सा exist करता है कौन सा नहीं, वो कैसे prove होगा? Through correspondence. So this is his complex idea of relation. ठीक है? You tell me. Where will it come? A complex idea which is not corresponding to. समझ नहीं पाई क्या? हाँ. No. So देखो, correspondence theory means that the idea I have, if it is also present, then it is true. If I have an idea but it is not present, then it is not true. हाँ हाँ, इंडक्टिव है, प्रॉब्लम है, साइंस की भी प्रॉब्लम है, इंडक्टिव नॉलेज की ही प्रॉब्लम है ना? दैट्स द इंडक्टिव फ्लॉ इन द नॉलेज इटसेल्फ. उसके अंदर हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. you people know about black swan event? बताया था क्या मैंने? हाँ, तो पढ़ लो उसके बारे में. इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग, है ना? ऐसे में बड़ी जगह आप लोग उसको यूज कर सकते हो. So there is this small article था या वो था उसके write up है black swan event पे, and it is very much in news, है ना? आर्टिकल भी है और इस पे बुक्स भी लिखी जा रही हैं. लॉट ऑफ बुक्स आर बीइंग रिटन ऑन दिस ब्लैक स्वान इवेंट, है ना? रिसेंटली a person wrote a book, a very nicely presented book, Black Swan event, Black Swan rather, only Black Swan, and it became really popular. तो हमें नहीं पता कब आ जाए. Simple modes is just the repetition of one simple idea. So idea of space, when you extend it to higher, it becomes the infinite space. So similarly, the idea of red become, if you repeat it again, it becomes redness. So it is not something very rocket sciencey. It is just the repetition of one simple idea. Ah, yes, something like this. Similar. This is a scientific law. है ना, बहुत बहुत लॉजिकल लग रहा है ना ये, मतलब दिस इज सो सिंपल दैट वी नेवर थॉट अबाउट द सेम थिंग, है ना. वी नो ब्लैक इज ब्लैक ना, है ना, बट वी नेवर थॉट दैट इट इज अ, yes, it is a relation that our mind creates. How do we identify all things black as black? So this, there must be this a kind of a relation in our mind which identifies black, and the moment it sees black, it relates it, so it relates it to a base black, right? And when we see something different, this means our mind must be comparing it with lot of other things, and then it's saying, oh, ये तो इनमें से कुछ भी नहीं है, therefore it must be something different. It's a very quick process, but psychologically, yes, it is how our mind works. So all the ideas that we create, the moment you see something new, supposedly, I put a new kind of a very different shaped apparatus or a machine here. So what will your mind do to identify the difference? It will try to compare it with all the existing things that you know. And the moment it doesn't fit into other things, you will say it is different. So this must be created into another thing for which it has to be compared with. Right? So this is how our mind creates the knowledge. Simple modes. Simple modes, itna mushkil kaam hai kya? Simple modes is better just repetition of one simple thing. So if you repeat one color, it becomes the simple mode of that color. If you repeat one object, supposedly you repeat apple, 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 a dozen of apples. So the dozen is what? Just the repetition of same thing. Ma'am, the word machine will come under which mode? Machine is a complex idea and it will come under the substance. भैया matter में आएगा, है ना? It will come under matter. The concept of machine might come under mixed mode, but the machine itself will come under the matter. So this is how our knowledge is made. He has said, Locke has said, but a lot of things have been adopted by psychology and proved to be true, but some of the things are inconsistent with the modern psychology.
As of now, I don't know, but maybe in future I come across that.
Yes. So knowledge is not static. And empiricists are the people who definitely say more the experiences, more the knowledge. So the machine I show you all might be new right now. It might be different right now. But after you have it, it's part of your knowledge. So more exposure you will have, more knowledge you will have.
For him, that creates whatever we see is reality. Something is not real to be.
Yes. No, real to what we can know is limited. Reality is unlimited. Hai na? So reality is unlimited. There is no limit to it. It is us who can know only some parts of reality. This means that more we experience, more knowledge we have. If we don't experience something, we will have no knowledge of it, according to Locke.
According to law, it's more than mention of telephone. Telephone is still a reality, but we have not come to that.
He's not a rationalist. There are no innate ideas. New inventions will come, new ideas will come, and we will know. Yes. And he's a very scientific science. He was a lover of science. You know? He rather in his in B.Ed or in any education philosophy, Locke is being taught because he was the one person who wanted to spread the scientific temper in the students. He said that, science is something which should be made part of the curriculum itself. है ना, पढ़ाओ बच्चों को scientific temper बनाने के लिए. So this is what. So he said that more we experience, more knowledge we will get. If we are having low knowledge, this means we are experiencing less. हम अगर experience नहीं लेंगे तो हमारी knowledge कम रहेगी. If we start experiencing more, then we will gain more knowledge. We will become more wise, as according to Locke. Next again, ma'am, but dozen of apple creates image in our mind. No. Yes, it creates, but the concept of dozen is an abstract thing. है Though you people are picturing 12 apple रखे हैं, है ना? लेकिन जब हम concept of 12 पे आते हैं, वो abstract हो जाता है ना? Numbers become abstract. Don't go into it. All of these things are very puzzling. है ना? Because abstraction in itself is a. So I'll tell you what differentiates us from animals. How many you people have not read Homo sapiens book? You have read? It's a lovely book. Whenever you get time, read it. It's a book, Homo sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, and a lovely book. So there also he tells us. So there is this difference, and even modern psychology says there is this difference between animals and humans. What is that difference? Cognition. And cognition का बहुत major point जो differ हो जाता है. Even elephants have some memory. Even elephants form some bonds in their families. Many animals form their bonds in the family. And even some chimpanzee groups can even talk among themselves and form social relations and all those things. But what differentiates us are two major things. One is abstraction, and second thing is gossiping. Yes, but I'll tell you the importance of gossiping. Yes, in that book it is. So he says that human mind has evolved itself to hold the concept of abstraction. If you go to a monkey and ask a monkey that, can you differentiate concept of waves from water? They'll not be able to do it. Can you understand the concept of waves and separately as a concept from water? समझ में आ रहा है? There is this difference. If you can understand this subtle difference, this means you can hold abstraction in your mind. If you people could hold the concept of monads in your mind, have you seen monads? No. It is an abstract concept, which Leibniz told us it's an abstraction. But if you can hold the concept of monads in your mind, this means that you can hold something you have not seen. You can hold something which is a creation of your imagination and mind. And you can even attach attributes to it. Hai na? The moment I said monads are eternal, they are simple, all of these things we attached. So your mind can even abstract and hold abstract qualities to this abstract concept. This means that we can understand things beyond what we see. We can understand things. So this is what made us highly evolved species, much more than animals. Animal cannot do it. Go to a chimpanzee and try to explain that you are part of India. You are part of this particular any abstract entity you talk about. बेटा आप दिल्ली में रहते हैं. They will try to understand things by spatial territorial, है ना? पर दिल्ली एज अ कॉन्सेप्ट, दिल्ली तो बढ़ भी सकती है, छोटी भी हो सकती है, बट रहेगी तो दिल्ली. तो दिल्ली अपने आप में क्या कॉन्सेप्ट है? Abstract. So if only humans can hold abstractions, animals cannot. This is a great evolution in our mind. So when we are talking about the concepts like dozen, number system, है ना, maths के जो चीजें हैं वो सब क्या है? Abstraction. Dozen is just a concept, है ना? Dozen can be apple also, banana also, pen also, table also, है ना, books also. But what is dozen in itself? It's a concept that anything repeated 12 times is a dozen. Anything. So dozen अपने आप में कुछ नहीं है. Doesn't make a picture in our mind. है ना? Dozen could be anything. It is just a numerical repetition. ठीक है? Ma'am, did Locke also accepted God out of fear, as God can't be experienced? By the time of Locke, it was not more out of fear, but he was a very believer or a theist person. He really believed in God, and that is why he put God as a substance. He did not. It doesn't feel that he did it out of fear. If he would have been a fearful person, then मतलब वो ऐसी वाली revolutionary theories देता भी नहीं ना. Ma'am, whenever you say, do you read this or that book, I feel that first I should read books or get habit of reading them, then come for UPSC preparations. I don't know what you people did in your bachelor's. Well, like bachelor's is a time when you do your graduation is the time. Ultimately, every one of you must have studied 15 days before your examination. Mostly. 10 days, 1 week. है ना? Ultimately, that's the yards. That's the general principle. है ना? So, what about the rest of the year? Except sitting in cafe coffee days and chit-chatting here and there, like we should also be reading something, है ना? That's very important. Some of the books. I read nearly all my books during my graduation and during the preparation of courses. So even now, when you are you have free time, read at least 5 pages and make it a habit reading 5 pages per day of a good book. A book which is also aligned to your UPSC preparation, but it also enlightens you. Like this book is a very good book, Homo Sapiens. There is another very good book, Everybody Loves a Good Drought by P. Sainath. है ना? Ethics के अंदर you people say कि ये पढ़ना चाहिए, वो पढ़ना चाहिए. The notes are not useful, है ना? Either lectures are or some diversified reading like P. Sainath. Anybody has read P. Sainath? You have read Everybody Loves a Good Drought? Lovely book. If possible, read it. You will get much more case studies than anything else. And imagine as an examiner, so in GS, everybody is writing the same things. So what does the examiner think? सब वही से पढ़कर आए. So if you have some diverse ideas, your answers become unique. If you give some examples here and there, if you refer some things, you get more marks. Excellent marks. Okay. Yes, 21 Lessons for 21st Century is again another book by Yuval Noah Harari, a very acclaimed writer. तो तुमने Dan Brown भी नहीं पढ़ा होगा? पढ़ा है? Da Vinci Code, Deception Point. अच्छा, किसने कौन सी किताबें पढ़ी है? Any book that you have read? चंदन और नंदन के अलावा। हाँ क्या? ओके हाँ, अल्केमिस्ट इज लवली बुक। हाँ, मैल्कम ग्लैडवेल कौन सी वाली? अच्छा, द बिजनेस वन, ओके। So there is this 10,000 hour theory by Malcolm Gladwell, है ना? There is this book, उसका नाम Outliers. Outliers पढ़ी है? नहीं पढ़ी हुई? हाँ, कौन कौन सी पढ़ी है तुम बता रहे थे? Rich Dad Poor Dad, okay. Inner Engineering by Sadhguru, okay. हाँ हम्म Wings of Fire, APJ Abdul Kalam. गुड बुक। रिच डैड, तो तुम लोग फाइनेंशियल इन्वेस्टिंग में ही इंटरेस्टेड हो ज्यादा। So there are a lot of apps, free books apps, and audio books are there, है ना? Anybody else here? My Experiments with Truth, Gandhi ji, good book, है ना? Read it, or if not possible, read a summary. Use it in your ethics answers. ये पीछे वाले दोनों तो मुझे लग नहीं रहा। तुमने सुनी होगी कहीं से, पढ़ी है? Mein Kampf by Hitler, again a very interesting book. ठीक है, so you know, you people should form a habit, small, not too much. Don't hamper your preparation, but read at least just 5 pages before sleep. Fine? 5 pages, stop. 5 pages, stop. And take very small books. मोटी-मोटी किताबें मत उठाओ, पतली-पतली किताबें. Like there is a very small book known as Animal Farm by George Orwell. हाँ, 1984 also, but वो थोड़ा मोटी हो जाती है. So you people take a homework. I'll take the what do you say, update next week, है ना? Read Animal Farm, 50 पन्ने की किताब है, 5 पढ़ोगे हो जाएगी, ठीक है? Animal Farm by George Orwell, ठीक है? ओ, क्या टाइम हो गया? चलो, bye. We will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Saturday. कल क्लास रख लें? टेस्ट रख लें? यार टेस्ट है ना आपका, मैं उस दिन रखूंगी कि जब मुझे बाहर जाना होगा. I have to, but somehow I'm not getting time. Okay, हाँ, मैं शॉर्ट फिल्म दिखाती हूँ, मैं इस वीकेंड पे आपके लिए सर्च करके रखूंगी. हाँ, हाँ, मेरे को हैदराबाद जाना है, तो मे बी नेक्स्ट वीकेंड, आई डोंट नो. आई कंफर्म एंड टेल यू. सो एक काम करते हैं, देखो लॉक हम लोगों को है ना फिनिश तो करना है. अब आप लोग मुझे बताओ कि वी विल नीड 1 more क्लास फॉर लॉक. कल कर लें? कल फिनिश कर लेते हैं ना, लॉक खत्म हो जाएगा. देन फ्रॉम मंडे वी कैन स्टार्ट विद बर्कले, ठीक है? सो टुमारो देयर इज अ क्लास फॉर फिनिशिंग लॉक. फाइन. छोटी सी क्लास करें. ओके बाय. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स ऑल्सो. हाँ ठीक है.